Hi, I'm Gary Bracey, CEO of Terra Virtua. I've been in video game industry since pretty much the beginning, since the 8-bit days, when I was development director at Ocean Software, which at the time became the biggest games publisher in the world. I've been passionate about video games and working in this sector for the past 35 years, and recently I got together with other distinguished and experienced video game members to bring a vision to life that we call Terra Virtua, which is essentially a 3D virtual world to deliver primarily games, or initially games, but ultimately any form of VR entertainment. We developed a working prototype of the game, and very shortly we'll be migrating the existing version into the Unreal Engine, which is probably the most sophisticated 3D engine on the market. It currently drives the game Fortnite, which is obviously very popular, and that's going to be the backbone, the technological backbone of the Terra Virtua world. What we're also doing is collaborating with Epic Games, who create the Unreal Engine, to create a suite of simple but very, very powerful tools to enable users to create their own content, whether it be games or just any VR fun experiences. And if they're any good, we can host that content in Terra Virtua, which will allow those creators to monetize and generate revenues. We're operating an internal economy in the world which is blockchain based. It's based on the Ethereum because we're dealing with a lot of IP, we're dealing with a lot of creators who'll be creating new content, and we want those creators to be credited for their efforts and creations, and so we're going to create a registry on the blockchain to ensure that they own the IP, and that's immutable then, and they can generate the revenues according to what they've created. Other creators may create just assets for this engine. They may create a car that other users can buy to integrate into their experience or their content, and that creates a sort of mini marketplace within the world. And again, that's all generated via the Ethereum token with the smart contracts. So we have a very legitimate use of blockchain in just that one example, but there are other significant revenue examples which will drive the economy. Although Terra Virtua is developed using the Unreal Engine, we are agnostic in terms of the tech itself, so we will be hosting games developed in Unity, Lumberyard, any 3D technology. We are just the conduit for that, and everything will be compatible with our platform. Equally, we are platform agnostic in terms of the hardware. So initially, we'll be supporting certainly Oculus and Vive, and lending support for the likes of Samsung Gear, Google Daydream, and over time, we hope to offer compatibility with every significant VR rig that's available on the market, ones that are unknown as yet, Microsoft Mixed Reality, for instance, and taking on board that it's not just an issue of hardware, but also immersive reality generally, because as mixed reality becomes more and more ubiquitous for the consumer, then obviously we'll be having to support those formats as well. So the hardware shift and content shift will be quite significant at that point, but maybe that's a year or two away yet. Our companion app is also in augmented reality, which is your gateway to Terra Virtua when you're not actually in the virtual world. So when you're traveling, you can still access that world, arrange with your friends to meet up, explore new content, look at trailers, figure out where you want to go on your next visit, bookmark games that are of interest, and all of that is accessible via your AR app. Terra Virtua is currently in a prototype state. We expect to launch a beta version of it in Q1 2019, when we'll have it pretty much done. The structure of it I generally describe as an airport. Think of an airport where you walk around There are social areas where you can congregate with your friends and your family. Those will be present in Terra Virtua. And then you have the gates. And the gates will lead you to individual games. But much like an airport, you will have different terminals, which are different zones, which will house and accommodate different types of content, some of them passive. The UGC, the Terraformer, which is the user-generated content part, will be in a different terminal. And we hope to grow that whole world as new types of experiences are introduced. The economy, because this is quite a large world and there are very different, number of different elements to it, then the economy will work in a number of different ways. So there will be trading between consumers with assets. There will be purchasing of gates and portals and zones. So a large games publisher may choose, rather than having a separate gate like everyone else for their individual games, they may just want one big gate which will accommodate their own catalog and their own catalog only. So we're able to offer a lot of different options. There will be marketing elements there where we can sell real estate on billboards, which people will be exposed to. We'll be able to offer virtual land. So if, for instance, a car manufacturer decides they want to promote their latest car model in Terra Virtua, they may build a virtual racetrack and allow users to test drive their new car. And we will be selling areas for them to achieve that. Those areas will be limited in number, but everyone will have free access to those areas. So far I've been focused on discussing games and the game content, but of course we do expect an awful lot of passive experiences to be hosted within Terra Virtua. So we're aware of a number of companies now who are actively filming in virtual reality sports events. There's a couple of companies who have set up who are filming concerts, live concerts, and we expect to be a platform to deliver that type of content also, probably on more of a pay-per-view than within the subscription model, but nonetheless we will be hopefully the go-to platform for those more passive experiences, and ultimately leading to 3D movies, so you can have the experience of an IMAX, for instance, in the comfort of your own living room. We've just launched our pre-ICO, and all details can be seen on the white paper on our website, www.terravirtua.io. One thing I'm also passionate about mentioning is the team. We have a team comprised of experienced executives and smart people who've been involved in the entertainment business generally, from Microsoft to Sony to EA to Warner's, Konami, and very, very senior roles. And they've all come together working, I must add, full-time on this project. These aren't just token advisors. These are full-time committed people who share this vision to bring Terra Virtua to the world, and we believe it's a pretty disruptive platform. So if you get a chance, please check out our white paper on terravirtua.io.